Another day, another trade. Yes, we got another one. Obviously, it's not as crazy as the night before, but last night we did get these two all-stars being traded for each other. Zach Lavine is very far removed, but he's been in trade talks for the past couple years, more or less. We've been hearing about it. And then De'Aaron Fox is an up-and-coming youngster who's really been killing it, man. He really has. For Sacramento, they've been lighting the beam over and over again. So we're going to discuss everything that went down. It was actually a 3-team trade. It's not just what you have on the screen, because obviously the Bulls are involved, right? We see the Bulls on there. So let's put this graphic on the screen for a second, where basically you have, this is from The Athletic. They basically graded what they thought of this trade, how every team did. We'll start with the big dogs, Mr. San Antonio. San Antonio Spurs getting De'Aaron Fox, who is the best player in the whole deal for sure. He's going to San Antonio to play with Wemby as possibly the future. That is, if they can keep him there, which they probably will, because what kind of point guard doesn't want to play with Wemby? He's going to make the game so easy. He's going to make it so chill. And honestly, I could see Fox really enjoying the atmosphere there, the vibe, especially with Wemby. That's going to be a game changer. I really think San Antonio in general just came out here and did so much work to surround Wemby with veterans like Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, and then like now growing the young core. Even like Castle is incredible. Like they didn't have to give up too much. They really didn't have to give up really anything wild to make this happen. I don't even know how they made this happen. I thought it was better than A-. I thought this was really, really great. We'll talk about the picks. There's a lot of picks involved going to the Kings, but we'll talk about all those. Obviously, when you're talking about picks, it's really hard because of a lot of different aspects, a lot of different avenues. But let's stay on this graphic for a second. So they graded the next team to win was the Bulls with a B, and honestly, the only way that kind of makes sense is for salary. But no, like, I mean, yeah, maybe Lavine, like, it was time to get rid of and get something. They got Herter, Zach Collins. I'm just having trouble seeing how this is a B. Like, Trey Jones, cool first round pick, cool, but what, you really, I don't know. I mean, I guess for Lavine, I feel like they could have maybe shopped around differently. I'm sure they did. It's been a while in the making of them wanting to trade him. I'm sure they got what they thought made sense, what was best. It's really interesting. To be honest, Sacramento, I thought they were going to get kind of fleeced on any deal with Fox, but I think they made a pretty good haul. I'm surprised they got a B- on this too. You guys let me know what you guys think. That's why I kind of made this like podcast type setting or whatever, just chilling, talking. I really wanted to do this so we could discuss and have you guys talking to me, because I didn't think the Kings did worse than the Bulls. I didn't see that. I don't know. Do you guys see that? Well, go ahead, switch on over to this graphic so we can see which picks are going where and whatnot. This will kind of be a little bit more understanding, especially with the Kings having 6 like picks involved in this trade. So they're getting Zach Lavine, which is obviously not the same as Fox, but that makes Malik Monk gets more minutes at the 1. It means they'll figure it out. I think they have a pretty solid lineup, and maybe they thought it was time to get rid of Fox. Maybe he wasn't going to re-sign. I don't know. They probably couldn't afford. There was a lot of different scenarios. That's kind of what we saw with the Dallas the other day. They clearly didn't want to pay that money, right? So they thought they'd go ahead and get a bunch of picks for the future, some going so far back to 2031, but that's a whole different combination or conversation. So they got Lavine, they got City, but then they got a 2025th pick. That's the closest one. They got the Hornets first round pick as well as the second round pick for the Nuggets. So I don't like talking about picks when it comes to trading, because we don't know what that turns out to be. They could actually draft really bad. It can turn into something that it shouldn't. Like, there's so many case scenarios of what a pick should or could end up being. So that we'll have to look back on later on. But we see that there's a total of 3 first round picks. I doubt the Spurs one's going to be that good in 2027, especially if they keep Wemby and Mr. Fox together and they're growing together and they're doing work. You got the Timberwolves 2031 pick. That might be great. Who knows? Who knows what that team's going to look like back in the future. Same with the Bulls 2028 second round. Like, the second round picks, we can not, obviously you can get a great second round pick. Jokic was a second round pick. Draymond. There was so many great second round picks that have won championships, have impacts and all that. But overall, I just don't see them that they did a really bad job. Yeah, it is for Fox, so losing Fox hurts, but like, you're building for something else. I'm sure there's other scenarios. I'm sure I would be really upset if I was a Kings fan losing Fox. I wouldn't see the vision right now. But maybe in a couple years we look back like, yo, they did pretty good. They did pretty good. Who knows? I thought it was better trade than what the Bulls got in return for Lavine. But maybe I'm wrong. You guys let me know. Like Trey Jones is okay. Zach Collins okay. Herter's okay, but still, it's not De'Aaron Fox. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's just a whole different conversation starter in general, losing a player like that. And honestly, I just can't wait to see Fox and Wemby play together. I really cannot. I'm going to be posting 2 videos. One of Fox is highlights. I'm going to be posting that on the Most channel. It's going to be link down below. You guys go ahead and check that out. We're going to be seeing how great Fox is and talking more in depth of what I think him and Wemby are going to become. They're going to take over the league. If they stay together and stay healthy, they're going to be something special. All we needed Wemby to get was a really good point guard. We saw his rookie year that he just needed to get the ball. We've known this. Like, give the ball to Wemby and great things happen. Now you're giving him a dude that's super, super quick, fast, agile, can shoot the ball. He's been really getting better at his jump shots. He scores at will in the fourth quarter. He puts so much pressure on the defenses, and he's a pretty solid defender. Like, he's quick with his hands and all that. Now you're putting that with the Wemby. That team, I wish it was still coached by Greg Popovich. We wish him a speedy recovery and just great health and all that. Obviously, he's too old and so many things going on in his life. But imagine, like, we've seen what Popovich has done with point guards in the past. So like Tony Parker, and even we can go Ginobili, you know what I mean? Like Patty Mills, he would have really took De'Aaron Fox and Wemby to a whole different level, and I'm sure it's going to happen. It's a great organization. It's a great place to be. San Antonio has a record, or like a, you know what I mean? It has a history. Unlike some of these other teams, like the Kings. What is the Kings franchise's history? So he's going to a great place. I met De'Aaron Fox. Really awesome dude. And I wish him all the best. He deserves it. His family, all that. He's a father. He's a great dude overall. And really humble, down to earth, and I respect that, and I want him to succeed. Same thing with Lavine. We want him to succeed. We want everyone to find a good fit in a home. But one thing I do really want to note, actually, there's 2 things. Let's note that Zach LaVine's going to be playing with DeRozan again. They played on Chicago together, so that should be cool. He's going to fit in really well. They know each other, as well as Sabonis is really easy to play with, and they'll make it work. There's a lot of veteranship on that team that I could see them still making a good run, a good push in general, right? I really can see that happen. I actually forgot what the other thing I was going to note was. I was going to note something else. I'm pretty sure it was about Fox, but I swayed towards Lavine instead. While recording, I realized I wanted to say that De'Aaron Fox has a history with Harrison Barnes a little bit. They got to play with each other, so that should be interesting. Plus, I just wanted to note that the Spurs tend to make deals with both these teams. They've made trades with both the Kings as well as the Bulls in the past. Seems like they're targeting them for whatever reason. That should be a really interesting trade topic. But regardless, I can see these teams battling it out. It's going to be a dogfest for years to come. In a sense, it'll be fun. It'll be entertaining. It'll be interesting. I'm super, super ecstatic just to see how these work. I plan to take these teams into 2K and play online with them. I plan to see how they fit together in my hands, right? With me controlling the team, how I can make things work. Will I dominate with the Spurs? I'm sure people are running like a lot of Laker teams nowadays, and Dallas, and like other teams that obviously have been popping off for a while, like the Celtics and stuff. But I could see San Antonio's coming up, man. They really are. It's going to be really hard to stop this team in the near future. And now they have Chris Paul too, which is a great thing for Fox. Fox will learn a lot from Chris Paul, whether you hate him or love him. CP3 is a great veteran leader. Maybe they try to get rid of him. I know contracts are so interesting, and they're very hard to understand a lot of times, like trying to see if things work. So that's going to be another interesting thing in general. I still think there's going to be a lot more trades. We got to see where Jimmy Butler ends up. I think he's going to end up moving. There's a lot of players that can end up moving out of nowhere, and now anyone can be traded, right? No one is safe. We saw that with Luka. We saw that with Anthony Davis. Dudes having MVP years and just moving. I talked about those yesterday, and honestly, it's a great time to be an NBA fan, in my opinion. Right before trade deadline, whether you're a fan of a team making a move, which might be heartbreaking at the time. It might ruin everything for you. I'm a Nets fan, so I know all about heartbreaking trades. Think about it. We traded draft picks that turned into Jaylen Brown, that turned into Jason Tatum. That we traded for, those were the picks that we got terrible assets that didn't work out for us at all, in old Paul Pierce and old the KG, like just absolutely disgusting. We also traded for Gerald Wallace, a pick that turned into Damian Lillard. Like, the Nets, a terrible organization. So if you're one of these teams, you're probably in a better off spot in general. I do see that. I don't think any team really got completely fleeced. I would say, like, Sacramento they're looking forward, where it's like the future of getting these picks where they still have a little bit money left over, because they have guys that are going to get paid and are getting paid and all that. And then they weren't going to win with Fox now. Anyway, the West is so heavy, so crazy, which is a thing that I think is going to make teams trade right now. I think they're going to realize we might as well wait for these alpha top tier dogs. It's not our time. We can't compete right now. We should take the backseat, stock up on picks. You saw OKC just literally, they went into rebuild and got out really quick with really good picks. And if you just hit those years in a row where you get really good picks, a couple good trades for young pieces that can make itself work, like the Spurs are going to be a dynasty literally moving forward. They didn't want their picks, which makes a lot of sense. If you have a chance to pair a generational athlete or talent like Wemby with a Fox, I think you do that 100% no matter what. And it didn't really cost them anything, like I said. The Bulls wanted to part ways with Lavine. If you're a fan of any of these teams, I really want to hear and see what you guys have to say. So please let me know. I won't make this video too long. I feel like I've been rambling a little bit here and down the line. So one last time, we'll put it up on the screen. Everyone that's moving. The Bulls, man. The Bulls, they don't care right now. They're looking for the lottery at the end of the day. That's what they're looking for. They got a first round pick, their pick back. So when they start losing like a crazy amount of games, that might come up in handy work for sure. Possibly. But yeah, you guys definitely need to let me know. I really think the Spurs won this trade for sure, in my opinion. I think they came up on top, getting Fox for what they got him for. I can't wait to see that happen, what that works as. Make sure you guys subscribe to be on the lookout for all the news that comes out throughout till trading weekends or whatever, the trade deadline, as well as all the information that we'll have for the All-Star weekends. We're going to be getting the drafted teams this week, so I can't wait to see who's playing with who. There's gonna be a lot of craziness happening with old teammates playing with each other and whatnot, and this new setup, new format should be interesting. And honestly, I can't wait to see what happens. The NBA, where drama happens, where drama lives. And I'll see you guys later. Check out the link down below for the other channel, and thank you for doing the most.